Jamison. How's it going? What is it like coming into camp? Normally, you guys come into camp, the Leinster guys have one up or bragging rights. Just tell me a bit about first interactions with the Munster players in the camp.
Yeah, you're right. Really, it's normally kind of the other way around. But yeah, they're giving us a bit of stick, but you know, it's fully deserved. They were great winners on the weekend. So, but yeah, I think it's great for the state of the game in Ireland, I suppose. They put out a pretty solid performance, and you know, they're by far the better team. So I think they deserved it for sure.
John said maybe it serves a kick in the arse. Is that something that the Leinster players can, use as a marker for the season, or just to reset, or because you're just into the season as well? How will the Leinster players deal with that?
Yeah, certainly something we mentioned after the game. It's a bit of a reality check for us, really. I mean, a lot of us first time out, and felt as though we prepared well, but we obviously hadn't because they, by far the better team. So, but yeah, like you touched on, it's been a slow start to the season for us. But yeah, it's kind of a stop-go thing. We were late into camp, the Lions guys, and then the boys went away to South Africa. It's just kind of been a very stop-start. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but it's been a tough start to the season. So, and then we're back in here, So, hopefully we can hit our straps by the time we're back in together again at kind of Christmas time.
Are you confident that you can shake that off fairly quickly? Again, lightly raced and coming into such a huge test as a match against the All Blacks.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we're going to kind of have to, don't we? Certainly, as the Leinster guys, we're back. When we get back, it'll be straight into Europe. So there's no real chances to build into anything. You got to get going. So we're lucky we've got a couple of weeks training now, and hopefully build into a solid performance next weekend.
Do you remember the 2016 Ireland All Blacks game? Where did you watch it, and what are your memories of that?
I was away in Italy at the time on holidays, and yeah, it's pretty well cemented in my memory. Like most Irish rugby fans, it's a pretty special day for Irish rugby, and when most of us won't forget. So it looked as though it was a pretty special day to be a part of. The Foley tribute and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a massive occasion, I suppose, for us going back to where it all went down. So yeah, we're sure looking forward to it.
Jamison, you're obviously just into camp, but how did Andy and the other coaches kind of tee things up now at the start of this camp for what's ahead?
Well, I suppose we're 2 years up from a World Cup now, aren't we? So things kind of start building towards that a little bit, I suppose. But in the same breath, you've got to get good at, I suppose, falling in love with the process. So it's very much a next game kind of mindset, like we always say. But there is that kind of little carrot down the road to look at. But there's many games to come before that.
Does that make it feel like a fresh chapter, given that potential end goal at the end of it, and changeover of players, etc.?
Yeah, I suppose a little bit. It's kind of something we mentioned. The 2 year mark. A lot of teams will start to look towards the next World Cup. So yeah, certainly felt that way in the meeting a little bit. A bit of a refresher, and we've already brought in some new stuff this morning that we're working on for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's exciting times for sure.
Just jumping back a little bit around the lines, like you're back later because you need a rest after a very long season. There's always worries, especially among supporters, that the Lions guys are going to struggle the year after. How are you actually feeling, like mentally and in terms of energy and readiness to go?
Yeah, look, I feel great, like physically and mentally. I thought I was in pretty good shape going out there on the weekend, but I suppose we were humbled a little bit by Munster and fair dues to them. But we feel pretty good. We had a great training week, and I suppose the beauty is now we get to link up with the other provinces and get to work for the next couple of weeks. So they've obviously going to have some pretty good IP, that troubled us. So hopefully we can use a bit of it together and make us stronger for this autumn coming up.
Jamison, what's the experience of playing against New Zealand being like for you?
Well, I think it's one I always kind of mark down and I suppose want to be a part of, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love coming up against those guys. It's kind of I don't know, I suppose it dates back to my childhood. I suppose you guys might have been the same, the kind of the brotherly rivalry or whatever. I would have had massive rivalries with my brothers growing up, and this is kind of a little bit the same. I would have played with a lot of these guys, against a lot of these guys when I was younger, so I kind of get that feel. It's like the Interpros as well, I get that same kind of feel, and I absolutely love being a part of those games, so yeah, this one will be no different.
I'm sure you get used to it as it goes on, but the first time you did it, first time with the arm clubs, with the hat, was it a very strange experience, or are you able to kind of compartmentalise pretty well?
Yeah, well, I suppose it was a little bit strange. I thought I was ready for it, but when you get out there and in the moment, it can hit you pretty hard. So, strange, but I suppose in the same breath it was pretty awesome as well. Pretty special moment to be part of, facing the haka and the anthems as well. It's pretty awesome to be a part of for sure.
Do you get singled out for much treatment at all, or are they fairly respectful as they go?
No, not really. I think we all cop a little bit of it, but no, it's just the way it is. And no, to be fair to them, they're great competitors. Compete hard on the field, and then we have a bit of crack off the pitch. So it's a great rivalry.
Just wondering for me, you're getting used to having Johnny as a coach now. I know on the Lions documentary said he knew nothing about Lions and left you guys alone. He only wanted to work with the town. So now that he's in full time, how is he kind of adjusting to that role, and how are you guys learning from him? Like, what's he bringing to the table as a coach?
I suppose we're only a few hours deep at this stage. I obviously work with him in the Lions, but he was lucky he had Richard Wigglesworth there who could take care of us. Otherwise, he would never Scooby what he was up to. But he worked with Wiggy obviously over the summer, and I think he's got a few good ideas for us. So early stages yet, but I look forward to working with Johnny. It's not just around the 9 and 10s, but just his rugby IP in general is pretty impressive. So he's an awesome person to have around camp.
John, is that a strange experience, Jamison? Because you played with him for so long now, you're listening to him telling you what to do, or what sort of experience is it?
I wouldn't say strange. It's just different, I suppose. He, I suppose, would have always been the big voice in the room, and leading from a team perspective. And it's a little bit different now when he's in a coaching role. So I suppose from my perspective, it's just a little bit different seeing him in that light. And but to be fair to him, he's still Johnny when he speaks. Everybody listens, and like I say, he's pretty awesome to have around. I think we're very lucky.
He was kind of mouthy as a player anyway, was he?
Most 10s are, aren't they?
Who'd be the lads in the All Black squad who would have been particularly close to, still are maybe, I'm guessing?
Well, Geordie, I suppose, is the easy one now. Like, he's pretty pally with a lot of the guys, but I would have played with Artie for a good bit coming through, and as well as the Barretts. Like, I know all the Barretts pretty well. They're from Taranaki, where I would have played kind of club rugby and into the provincial scene, so I would have known those guys pretty well. Like, early on in my rugby career, and played with Bowden at the Canes, and would have known Scott, even though their other brother Blake and their older brother Kane, I would have played with him at the Blues. So I have a bit of a connection to that whole family, really. So so anytime we come up against them is pretty cool.
They've had a busy year, obviously. What's been your sense of where they are and where they're coming into this game from?
I suppose it's a hard kind of thing to grasp. I'm not in their camp, and you only kind of follow it from watching the games and trying to get a grasp of it that way. But it seems as though they're trying to find their feet a little bit. But an All Blacks team like that, I think, can be extremely dangerous. So and I think we've seen that in glimpses. So I think they'll be pumped up for this, trying to, I suppose, right a few wrongs over that campaign they've just had. So they'll be dangerous.
You mentioned Geordie. Would you know Rico going back, and what was your reaction when the news came through that he was going to be joining the Leinster?
A little bit. When he's obviously a lot younger than me. So I actually trained with him at the Blues, though. Funnily enough, so I was probably 21, and I think he was like still in school when he came and trained with us. He was that well thought of. So, but since then I wouldn't have much to do with him, only through playing him and whatever. So, but I think, like a lot of people, when the news broke, we were a little bit shocked. Like, normally you get a bit of a whisper or something as to, if there's something going to go down. But this one just kind of hit us all point blank. But hopefully we can get a run against. It'll be nice, and catch up with the boys after.